Hello and welcome to all of you. I am Anil Arora, faculty in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. This session is the part 2 of oscillators and this topic is under the course Analog Electronic Circuits. Today's lecture contains the phase shift oscillators and these are the references for today's session. Phase shift oscillator. In the phase shift oscillator, amplifier of conventional design is followed by three cascaded arrangements of capacitor and resistor R and the output of last RC combination being returned to the input of amplifier. We can understand the principle of phase shift oscillator by this circuit diagram. Here we can see that we have one amplifier having this transistor. So here we can see that this is the amplifier part of the oscillator and this is the feedback section of the oscillator. So in the feedback section, we can see that there is a cascaded combination of RC networks. So here we can see that this is the first RC combination and this is the second RC combination and this is the third RC combination. So these are the three cascaded arrangements of capacitor and resistor which acts as the feedback network for this amplifier. So in this oscillator, amplifier shifts the phase of any voltage or any signal which appears on the input by 180 degree. Since we know that the common emitter amplifier in which we are taking output from the collector, there is a phase difference of 180 degree from the amplifier. And the network of resistors and capacitors shift the phase by an additional amount. Since this is a RC combination and we know that RC combination also provides some phase shift and the combination of these three RC connections provide some phase shift in the signal. At some frequency, the phase shift introduced by the RC network will be precisely 180 degree and at this frequency, the total phase shift from the input around the circuit and back to the input will be exactly 0. Since we know that 180 degree of phase shift is being provided by the amplifier and at a particular frequency which satisfy this three RC cascaded RC combinations which give for a particular frequency, this cascaded arrangement provides 180 degree of phase shift. For that particular frequency, we have the total 360 degree of phase shift, means it will act as a positive feedback in this oscillator. And this particular frequency will be the one at which the circuit will oscillator and will give output as sinusoidal waveform. So let's understand the concept of RC combinations. RC phase shift network. So let's understand using this example. So here we have one combination of C and R. And we know that if we apply the signal at this point and we take the output at this point, the phase shift in output and input will be 60 degree in one kind of this RC network. And if we use these kinds of combination, three cascaded combination of this kind, and we apply input at these terminals and output at these terminals, we have total 180 degree of the phase shift in the output. Let's calculate the gain and frequency for this feedback section. So if R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 is equal to R, so here we write if R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R3 and we put it R, and C1 is equal to C2 and C3 is equal to C. So for these combination, let's calculate the gain and frequency response. So if we write here it as the current I1 and in this branch the current I2 and it's in this branch the current is I3. And let's name the voltage terminals. This is the V1, this is the V2, and this is the V node. So let's calculate the various voltages and currents. At node V2, at node V2, so this is the V2. When we apply the KVL, we can write it as V2 is equal to, that is the minus J omega minus J I3 XC. This is the I3. So let's erase this, and I3 XC plus V node. So here we can see that if we have to calculate V2, which is the sum of the voltage across capacitor, and the reactance of capacitor is XC, and the current flowing through capacitor is I3. So we can write the voltage across capacitor is minus J I3 XC plus the voltage across this resistance R3. So we can write it as this, and we know that this can be written as I3 into divided by J omega C plus V naught. Also, the current I3 can be written as V naught by R. So we can write it as V naught by R. So it will be J omega CR plus V naught. Hence we can write V2 as V2 into 1 plus 1 upon J omega CR. And this is the equation number 1. Also, we can find the current I2. So we know that V naught is I2 is equal to, so this is the I2. I2 is equal to V2 by R plus I3. So let's redraw the circuit here again. So this is the capacitor 1 and this is the resistor. This is the resistor R, 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 C, C, C. Here we have the output and we have written the name here V node. This is the node V1 and this is the node V2. The current in this branch is I1, I2 and I3. And if we have to find I2, that is equal to I2. Here we have the I2. This is I2. Now the I2 is equal to I3 plus V2 by R. So this current is divided into two parts. One is in this branch and one is this branch. So we can say that I2 is equal to V2 by R plus I3. So this current which is going in this branch is the V2 by R plus the current in this branch is I3. So I2 is equal to V2 by R plus I3, and which can be written as V naught 1 by R into, and in the previous expression we have calculated the V2, so we can write V2 from the equation number 1, that is equal to V naught into 1 plus 1 upon J omega CR and plus I3, and we know that I3 is equal to V naught by R. So we can rearrange the terms as, that is I2 is equal to V naught by R into 2 plus 1 upon J omega CR, and we can name this expression as number 2. So if we have to find the V1, we can find V1 as, at node V1, we can have apply the KVL at node V1. So V1 is equal to V2 plus I2 upon J omega C. So we can write it here as V1 is equal to V naught 1 plus 1 upon j omega c, we have calculated earlier, plus I2 we have calculated. So V naught by R 2 plus 1 upon j omega CR into 1 upon j omega c. So solving this expression, we can say that V1 is equal to V naught into 1 plus 3 upon j omega CR minus 1 upon omega square c square and r square. So we have calculated V1. Actually, what we are doing is we are finding the relation between V in and V out so that we can have the beta. So, and beta is the feedback factor. So in this way, we are finding the relation between V naught and V in. So here we have calculated the V1. Now apply the KCL at node V1. So if we apply the KCL, so if we write here, the KCL at node V1, we can have I1 is equal to applying KCL at node V1. At node V1. So I1 is equal to, so we can say that I1, which is in going in two parts, and this part plus this part, we can say that in this branch, the current is V1 by R. So we can say that I1 is equal to V1 by R plus I2. And I2 we have calculated, so we can write it as V1 also we have calculated. So we can say that I1 is equal to V naught by R into 1 plus 3 upon j omega CR minus 1 upon omega square c square r square plus V naught by R into 2 plus 1 upon j omega CR. And simplifying, we can have I1 as, so let's go to another page. So simplifying, we have I1 is equal to V naught by R into 3 plus 4 upon j omega CR minus 1 upon omega square c square r square. Now finding the V in. So let's find the V in. Find V in. Applying KVL at node V in, we have V in is equal to V1 plus I1 into 1 j omega c. So putting all the values of I1, V1 and I1, so we have V in is equal to V naught into 1 plus 3 upon j omega CR minus 1 upon omega square c square r square, and putting the other values, that is the V naught by R into 1 upon j omega c and 3 plus 4 upon j omega CR minus 1 upon omega square c square r square. And rearranging the terms in this expression, we can write it as V in is equal to V naught into 1 plus 6 upon j omega CR minus 5 upon omega square c square r square minus 1 upon j omega cube c cube r cube. So by this expression, we can have the expression between V in and V out, and we can find out the feedback factor beta. But in this, we can say that the output voltage will have only real parts, but this expression contains real as well as imaginary part. Here we can see that this is imaginary part this is also imaginary part. But we know that the output voltage will have only real part. Output will have only real parts. Imaginary part will be 0. Imaginary part will be 0. So equating all the imaginary part equal to 0, we can find out the value of frequency. So let's see how. So in this expression, we can see that the imaginary part is this term and this term. So putting these two terms equal to 0 as 6 upon omega CR minus 1 upon omega cube C cube R cube is equal to 0. So this is by equating the imaginary part equal to 0. So we can write this, J will be common. So hence solving this expression, we can write it as omega square C square R square is equal to 1 by 6. So by this, by solving this, we can have omega is equal to 1 upon root 6 R C. And we know that omega is equal to 2 pi f. So 2 pi f is equal to 1 by root 6 RC, and f is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC root 6. So if the frequency is equal to 1 upon 2 pi RC into root 6, the imaginary part will be 0 and output will be real only. So this is the frequency for the RC combinations. Now to find the gain at this frequency, so let us find the gain, means the feedback factor beta. So finding the gain at this frequency. So in the previous expression, we can see that we have V in is equal to V naught into these terms. So we will put these values 0 in this expression. So we can write it as V in is equal to V naught into 1 minus 5 upon omega square C square R square. Now in this expression, we have find out the value of omega. So we can write the omega is equal to 1 upon root 6 RC in this expression, and by putting the omega is equal to 1 by root 6 RC. So we can have the V in is equal to V naught into 1 minus 5 upon 1 upon 6 R square C square into R square C square. So we can cut these terms and we can find out V naught into 1 minus 30, and this is V in is equal to, so we can write V naught by V in is equal to minus 1 upon 29. So this is the feedback factor, that is the beta. Here we can see that the minus sign shows the phase shift. Hence we can say that there is a 180 degree of phase shift, and the feedback factor beta is equal to 1 by 29. This is the phase shift. So as we discussed the Bar-Kassan criteria in our earlier session, we know that the loop gain should be equal to unity. So here we have find out the beta, that is equal to minus 1 by 29. So we can say that for loop gain is equal to unity, so A beta should be greater than 1 unity. If the beta is equal to 1 by 29, so we can say that A should be greater than 29. So we have to use the transistor amplifier whose gain is greater than 29. So this is the formula for this ideal kind of amplifier. Now the practical phase shift oscillator. What does it mean by practical phase shift oscillator? In the earlier circuit, we have used cascaded RC combinations. But in practical, for this R, the third R, we have the input resistance of the amplifier in combination. So value of this R, the third R will be changed since the value of R is in combination of the input resistance of the amplifier. So let's calculate the gain of and frequency for this practical phase shift oscillator. Now, if we draw the equivalent circuit H parameter model for this circuit, we can find the expression for gain and frequency of practical phase shift oscillator. So first of all, let's draw the H parameter for this transistor, and we know that we can draw it as, so this is HIE, and this is, here we have the HRE V node, and here we have the HFE IB, and here we have the HOE. So for this, this RC will be, for the AC model, this RC will be connected to ground. So we can see that this will also be in parallel with this circuit, that is the RC. Now we can see here that from the output or the collector side, we have the capacitor. So here we have the capacitor and one R. Again we have the capacitor and one R. And here also we have the capacitor and R. Now we should note this R, the third R, if this the value is the R and this is the R, this value we have R3, since this is the different from this R. As we have discussed that the third resistance will be in combination with the input resistance of the amplifier. So this value will be different from these two R. So let's write it as R3, and if we connect this as the to the input of the transistor. So here we can write it as so this is, we can write it as H parameter model of the amplifier. Now, if we draw the simplified model of this amplifier, we know that HRE is very low, and also we know that HOE is also very low, hence we can neglect this output resistance Z node. So let's draw the simplified equivalent circuit of this hybrid model. So here, if the R3, here we have the R3, and this is in combination with the HIE. So if this RE is equal to R minus HIE, so if we put R3 is equal to R minus HIE, and again we can write it as the R minus HIE plus HIE. So we can write it as, let's draw again. So if we neglect this HREV, we can have the R minus HIE plus HIE. So we can write it as R. So let's draw again. Here we have the HFE IB and here we have again, this is the current. This is the RC Here we have capacitor, resistor R, capacitor, resistor R. Also here we have the capacitor, and here we have the resistor R3. So we can understand by, if this R3 is the R minus HIE, now if and this resistance is coming in series with this, so it will become R3. We can write it as R3, which is R minus HIE. So we can write it as R3. So here we can see that this is the current source in series in parallel with this RC. So we can write this current source and RC combination as the voltage source. So let's draw again. So here we have the voltage source instead of current source, and its value is HFE IB into RC, and the RC will come into the series with this voltage source. Now the capacitor, resistor, again capacitor, and resistor, this capacitor C, and resistor R3. So this is the simplified equivalent circuit. So we have to solve this circuit to find out the expression for frequency and gain. So here we have the three loops. So if we write, this is the loop 1, this is the loop 2, and this is the loop 3 in this circuit. So solving the each loop, apply KVL in three loops, all of three loops. So first of all, for the loop 1, here we can see that there are two resistors in series, and the current, if we assume the current in this loop is I1, and this in this loop current is I2, in the third loop current is I3. So we can write R plus RC, here we have the RC, and this is R, plus 1 upon j omega C into I1 minus, here the direction of I2, the current I2 is opposite to the direction of current I1. So we can write it as minus R into I2 plus, this is the voltage source. So we can write it as HFE RC into IB equal to 0. So for the loop 2, similarly for the loop 2, we have the current I2. So first of all, we will write the current for current I1. So the direction of current I1 is opposite to the current I2. So we can write it as minus R I1 plus, here we have the two resistances, this R plus this R. So we have the 2R plus 1 upon j omega C into I2 minus this current I3, and this current is the current base current. So we can write it as the IB here, and this is the RIB equal to 0. Similarly for the loop 3, we have, there is no I1 current, so we can write it at 0 into I1 minus R into I2 plus 2R plus 1 upon j omega C into IB equal to 0. So we have three expressions for three loops different. So let's solve this these expressions. For solving this expression, we have to write it in the matrix form. So we can write these three expressions in the matrix form as R plus RC plus 1 upon j omega c, and the term for I2 is the R, and the term for IB is equal to HFE RC. Here we have the minus R, we can see here minus R, and the second term is the 2R plus j omega c, 2R plus 1 upon j omega c, and the third term is the minus R. Here we can see this is the minus R term, and for the third expression we have 0 for I1 and minus R for I2 and 2R plus 1 upon j omega c for R3. 2R plus 1 upon j omega c for IB, and we can write it as I1, I2 and IB equal to 0. Now for solving this matrix, we have to take the determinant of for this matrix. So taking the determinant, as you all know how to take the determinant, so I write the expression for the after taking the determinant, that is the R3 plus R square RC into 3 plus HFE minus 5R XC square. What is the XC? XC is the, so we can write it as minus JXC. So XC is the 1 upon j omega c, we all know, so we have written here the XC minus RC XC square minus 6J R square XC minus J4 R RC into XC plus JXC cube is equal to 0. So in this expression, we can see that these terms are real terms and the all rest terms are the imaginary terms, and these are the imaginary terms. Now putting the imaginary term is equal to 0 by putting imaginary terms equal to 0, we find the frequency, and by putting the real part is equal to 0, real part is equal to 0, we find the gain. We find the gain. So let's calculate the frequency and gain for these expressions. So by putting the imaginary terms equal to 0, we can write it as 6 R square XC plus 4. So we can see here. So 6 R square XC plus 4 RRC and plus 4 RRC minus XC cube is equal to 0. So these are the imaginary terms. We have turned it as 0, and we can find the XC is equal to square root of 6 R square plus 4 RRC. And from here we can find out the 2 pi FC is equal to 1 upon 6 R square plus 4 RRC, and by this way we can find the frequency F, and F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC square root of 6 plus 4 RC upon R. So this is the expression for the frequency. Now if we put R is equal to RC, we can find for R is equal to RC, we can, if we put the R is equal to RC, we can find F is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC root 10. Now for the real part, putting the real part is equal to 0, we can write it as R cube plus R square RC into 3 plus HFE minus XC square 5R plus RC is equal to 0. So by putting XC is equal to this term, we can have putting the XC. So we have put XC is equal to 6R square plus 4R RC. So we can solve for the expression that is equal to minus 29 R upon RC minus 23 plus HFE minus 4 RC upon R equal to 0. So we can find HFE is equal to 23 plus 29 R upon RC plus 4 RC upon R. And if we put R is equal to RC, we can write it as 4R is equal to RC. HFE should be greater than 56. So if you put R is equal to RC, we can find HFE should be greater than equal to 56. So we can say that we must use amplifier with gain greater than 56. So this was all about the practical RC phase shift and the ideal RC phase shift. In the ideal RC phase shift, we have seen that the value of beta is minus 1 by 29. In this way, we have to use the amplifier whose gain is greater than 29. But for the practical case, we have the gain should be greater than equal to 56, and the frequency which is responsible for the 180 degree phase shift is equal to 1 by 2 pi RC into root 10. If we put the R is equal to RC, and RC is the collector resistance. So by this way, we can have the RC phase shift oscillator. Thank you.